James, how are you, man?
I'm good.
Thanks for joining me today.
Pleasure.
How's your week been? Oh, no worries.
My week's been really good. I'm back in the office at Penrith and started there the end of last week, so it's nice to be back around people again.
Yeah.
And have that sort of team connected again. Actually, it's
Cool.
for the most part been good.
And what do you do for work?
I'm working in an architecture firm. So with architecture, you can't call yourself an architect until you've done a whole heap of studying and registered and all this sort of stuff. So it's a bit of a tricky thing to answer when people ask. I'm like, yeah, I work for an architect. Oh, so you're an architect? No. And
So you're working towards being an architect?
yeah.
You're like a junior architect, or like an architect Padawan.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. So you design and draw and all that kind of thing?
Yeah. And the really cool thing is that the founding principal is a Christian.
Cool.
And two of the directors, along with the founder, are Christians.
Huh.
And quite a few of the staff is.
Yeah, right.
So it's really nice, to work under or with a Christian boss. And nice to see the way they shape architecture around people. So their whole sort of philosophy is the built environment to connect, people and have living relationships, and that's what God has with us. In the way of bringing Jesus to us to have a living relationship with us.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
That's really interesting. For a Christian perspective on architecture is designing it to best help people love and have relationship.
Yeah, and projects. So we do a fair bit of aged living sort of buildings,
Right.
but also for people at high risk of homelessness or domestic violence. So,
Wow, okay.
yeah, again, it's nice to have that aspect of doing it to improve the well-being for people. Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, cool, man. How did you come to know Jesus?
Through Sarah. So, I grew up in mum and dad's home, and they took us along to church when we were younger and gave us an opportunity when we were young teenagers if we wanted to go or not.
Yeah.
And I chose not to. And sort of went from there as not being against God and not being with God. Just not really giving it a thought. And met Sarah, and she invited me along to church, and wanted her, so I wanted to go to church. Started going along, and got connected into a live group, and got really into it, and church wasn't foreign to me, so it was pretty easy. Started my journey there, and I sort of had that new Christian passion of diving really deep into everything. And as we were dating, Sarah, I guess wrestling with the concept of who God is and why we follow him. And it was cool because I'd just sort of come into it and I was like, no, this is why. And then I sort of backed off a bit, and then Sarah was building me up, and and then we've kind of just kept on sort of building my faith from there. And I think there was a moment when we went to like a youth night where there was an altar call, and I raised my hand and said to myself, yes, I am choosing to follow you. But I think looking back at that, it was something of getting more caught up in the moment and not really recognising why I am. And that sort of surfaced again for me lately, reading a book with Dave, The Purpose-Driven Life. Yeah, and just reading more and thinking more about, it's so selfish to think that I want a relationship with God because he's the ticket to heaven. if I want eternal life, I've got to, and I thought, oh man, that's so selfish. It's just, it's all about me, and then really peeling it back to, man, Jesus died for me, for everything I've done, everything I'm gonna do, and it was good just to reflect on that really, for a long time, and just come back to that grounding of, you wouldn't choose to follow anyone else because he's such a good guy to do that, to be almighty and all powerful, and to come and serve and die for someone who's his enemy is mind blowing. So
that's so cool, man. Wow. So you're part of one of our gospel communities. Which one?
Clorinda.
Cool.
Yeah, Clorinda. GC, Gospel Community, and so that's sort of run by Josh and Lyndall, who are great, and we were welcomed by everyone into that group, which was really nice. I think, they've all got little kids, and so that's fun for us, not always for them. But it's nice to have that sort of dynamic and similar sort of age and stage of life. We've had the challenges with COVID, but otherwise we meet up on a Sunday for brekkie and share.
You guys do a pretty good brekkie. The one time I visited, I was quite impressed.
It's they had their sort of DNA studies that they were doing wrap up, and we've just joined in on those. So. Just getting into that deeper level of discipleship and building of each other up and sharing stories, and